Living your passion with action. My Path Builder, a network for entrepreneurs.
Hi, welcome to MyPathBuilder.tv. My name is Warren Bobrow. This is Daisy Martinez, and we're here in her gracious kitchen to prepare some split pea soup.
Hi, I'm Daisy Martinez, chef, author, and host of PBS's Daisy Cooks and Food Network's Viva Daisy.
I have some questions for you.
Very cool. You
But
don't mind if I get to work, right?
Oh, absolutely. I want you to get to work. I see you have some nice things here: carrot, celery, onion, your basic mirepoix. What do you have over here?
These are smoked ham hocks. These add, besides the gelatin from the ham hock itself, that adds a beautiful silkiness to the split pea soup. It gives it a smoke and a nice earthy aroma that I just adore. And you know, soup to me is happy food. It's like comfort food. It's like a hug from home. So we have a lot of soup here at Casa Daisy.
And it looks like you do everything from scratch, which is the way I was taught how to
Well,
cook.
Absolutely. You want good flavor, you got to put good stuff in, right? Good stuff in, good stuff out.
That's
so
right.
I've got some carrots, some Spanish onion, and 5 cloves of garlic, and some chopped celery. And usually the ratio is 50%, 25-25, but hey,
It's
what
almost
can
like a sofrito.
somebody's been doing his homework.
I'm a trained chef.
Awesome, very cool. I have some olive oil in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit that.
I think that you have a lot of passion for your cooking.
I absolutely do.
And I can tell it. The colors in here are fabulous. The ingredients that you use, I can see there's no stocks out of cans, and I think that's important. Who taught you how to cook?
I come from a family of powerhouse women in the kitchen. My abuela Valentina and my mother Conchita are amazing, amazing cooks. My grandmother and my mother said "I love you" to me when they presented me with a plate of something they had made.
Did you watch television cooking shows when you were growing up?
I remember Julia Child on television. Didn't understand what she was saying, but she was so animated that,
Right.
you know, as a child, you're kind of like, and kids love cooking shows, even way back then, because it's a how-to.
And do you remember the first cookbook that you took a look at when you were growing up?
I do. It was a present from my dad on my 13th birthday. It was a little French cookbook. And in retrospect, I mean, I don't remember what happened to it, but I made every single thing in there. The very first thing out of that book, and it was the end of the world. It was French mashed potatoes. And what was French about it was that you boiled 2 onions along with the
Makes it
potatoes,
creamy.
right? So, and I just remember I mean, this is a girl who could rock a pot of rice, you know, at age 10. But now I'm making gourmet potatoes, you know. So that was my first memory of reading a cookbook and following instructions.
And you put them through a ricer probably
Absolutely,
to make them creamy.
absolutely.
Do you remember your grandparents?
I do.
Are they still living? Or
No, I remember my grandmothers.
did they cook with your mother? Did they teach your mother how to cook?
My mother is another one of those women. See, in our generation, Warren, when we didn't have help,
Right.
we had daughters.
Right. Okay.
So girls, especially when my mom was a child, girls were expected to learn how to cook early on, and
Okay. That's why I asked you,
yeah,
because I wanted to see the transgression from grandparent to parent
absolutely.
to you.
And there's like favorite recipes that have been passed down, you know, from my mother's mother, my father's mother to my grandmother, and then subsequently, you know, to me. And it's really funny because, of course, every person who makes a dish adds their own little spin to it or their own little technique. So it was a really funny story. Quickly, this past Christmas, I had my parents up here in my home, and I was making arroz con gandules, which is the traditional rice with pigeon peas that you make on Christmas Eve.
Like Hoppin' John on New Year's Eve.
Similar. And my mother was in the kitchen trying to be helpful, and she said to me, let me make the rice for you. And I said, okay. And I'm busy doing 20 other things. And I'm looking and I'm saying, Mom, that's not how I do it. Well, how do you do it? Who taught you how to do it? I taught you how to do it. And it was really funny. We actually had to stop and laugh because it was like, what are we talking about? At the end of the day, I love her arroz con gandules much better than I love mine. I was like, just go ahead and do what you want to do.
And those become a memory that you'll always
Absolutely.
remember because you remember the flavors, and those flavors
Absolutely.
carry you through.
Smell and taste are such triggers for memory, and that was
Yes.
something that was important for me as a mother to create those memories and those fragrances and those flavors for my children as well.
How many children do you have?
Oh my goodness, I'm the old lady who lived in the shoe. You know, I have 4 really, really great kids.
And do they work in the kitchen with you?
They do, actually, my sons are pretty good in the kitchen. Before they left for college, what I would do is I would give them 5 basic things to take with them to learn how to do. Make a pot of rice, make a pot of beans, make a good pasta sauce. You know, here's a good recipe for roast chicken or chicken cutlets, whatever, and this way you're not going to go hungry. And my oldest son, when he went to school, figured out really fast that boys who cook are sexy.
You bet they are. I'm a judge for the Ministry of Rum. I'm a rum judge. And
Wow.
they send me
Tough
out to,
gig,
I go out
dude.
to San Francisco and,
Gig.
and taste sugarcane rums. And what the rum companies do is I have probably 100 bottles of rum in my wine case
Sure.
because they
And-
all want me to write about them.
And rum now is becoming
Rum's
such.
hot.
It's like it's a sophisticated. Before it was something that you mixed.
Right.
Now you
But
have
now
these
you can
beautiful
drink
sipping
them.
rums.
Right, exactly.
Do you have a favorite?
Trinidad and Tobago,
Okay.
Angostura, and it's the 1824. It's aged 12 to 18 years
Wow.
in cask.
Uh-huh.
This is not a rum that you would necessarily mix. You would drink it in a
It's
sipper.
a sipping, right?
A sipping rum.
Have you ever tasted the Puerto Rican rum del Barrilito?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
well, honey, don't talk to me about rum. Then
do you have any here?
I don't. Let's
You're
throw
really
some bay
smart,
leaf in there, and I have some fresh herbs, some thyme. And I love it when the thyme hits this heat.
Yeah,
It
it
just
expands.
blooms. Woo!
Daisy, where are you from?
I'm a Brooklyn girl. I was born in Williamsburg, but I identify very strongly with my Puerto Rican heritage.
Okay.
My parents are both from Puerto Rico. My mother from the town
What part?
Arecibo, where
Okay.
the big satellite dish.
I know exactly where it
Looking
is.
for ET?
I've spent time on Vieques
Oh,
and
Vieques.
Culebra.
And Culebra, beautiful.
My family had a sailboat, and we
Oh,
kept it in the
perfect.
BVI, so we'd always go to, Puerto Rico,
Sure.
but definitely spend time in Vieques and Culebra.
Beautiful, beautiful over there.
And I love the food.
Oh,
The food is brilliant
It's
because
brilliant.
it speaks so clearly of the passion of the people.
yes, it does. Now I'll tell you, with the advent of young Puerto Rican Puerto Ricans going out and getting classically trained, you have chefs like Wilo Benet. Have you been to Picayo?
I haven't been to
Go
Puerto Rico.
back.
So.
Oh no! We're gonna have to redo this interview. Wilo, and of course, there's a school down there called the Institute of El Este, the Culinary Institute of the East, where they have a culinary program that's absolutely unbelievable over there. Anyway, chefs like Wilo Benet have taken the very humble ingredients like the plantain,
Right.
like all of those things, and learned to apply classical techniques to them and present them in a beautiful 4-star upscale
Nice.
gorgeous restaurant. So it's lechon, but it's pernil,
Right.
but with lacquered crackling, that crisp. Yeah,
know how
I
much I
know,
like crackling.
I know. I mean, really, really beautiful.
I was raised with a BLT in my hand.
There you
Months.
go. There you go. What's better than a BLT?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, except for pig's ears.
Well, there's that with a little bit of heat on them.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You love pig's ears.
Okay.
Usually, I don't talk about stuff like that. But, the thing is that in the island,
I was
especially,
raised on a farm, so
Okay.
we were taught
Nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. And you said that you didn't have help, but we had help, and
Okay.
our help was from Germany, and they taught me to do everything.
That's so
I kept
cool.
chickens,
and you made
and so I
that's-
grabbed them by the neck and spun them around.
my mother. That's what my mother would do with the chickens too. And when I got married, my husband was so impressed that my mother, he would go out and buy the live chickens and bring
Right.
them to my mother's house. And I was like, what's with this
What are you
guy?
gonna do with that?
Yeah.
Well, I know what to do with
My
it.
mother would take the chicken, she'd put the chicken under her
Yep.
arm and pull it.
That's
and
a little more.
and she's watching my husband as she's doing it. So he got the message real fast. Behave
doubt.
or else.
No doubt. Okay. When was the first time you cooked for someone in your family, and do you remember what it was that you made?
Yeah, sure. It was a pot of rice. I must have been about 10 years old, standing on a step stool with my mother breathing down my neck, talking about,
Right.
don't touch that rice.
Right.
As I said, when I was growing up, daughters that was a given. And I
Right.
was the oldest of 5, so it fell to me to do stuff like that. And shortly after that, again, because I was the first of five, I would be in charge of getting up in the morning and making breakfast for my sister and my little brother. But that to me was like a no-brainer. And because I love the kitchen, when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
It's a passion. You're doing your passion.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you prepare that brings a tear to your eye when you make it or when you eat it? And what is that? And what's the reason?
I cannot make, and it's my grandmother's recipe, I cannot make stuffed peppers without getting choked up.
That's
Because
beautiful.
stuffed peppers are Saturday afternoons at my abuela's house.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it still affects you.
Oh.
It's very powerful. I can
Yeah,
tell.
no,
It's
it is.
extremely
It
powerful.
is. And I do it exactly, I do it to honor her. When I make them, I do it to honor her memory.
That's right.
She's amazing.
Thank you. Social media has brought us together, and I thank you. Do you use Twitter or Facebook? Do you have a social media strategy?
Facebook to me was a responsibility to my fans of the show. I answer
You
all
do
of
all your own
all
stuff.
of my own
You don't have
stuff.
a PR agency that does it for
No.
you.
I
Well,
answer.
So many do.
Yeah, it's still manageable enough that I have a fan page because I got too many friends.
Too many friends.
And I tweet relevant stuff. Priority is your family and your children.
Mm-hmm.
So deal with that without telling everybody about it. My fans feel it's the Daisy vibe, that if I do a demo at a restaurant or at a venue, they feel like I have little old ladies coming over saying, I pray for you, God bless you, I love you, and hugging me, and you remind me of,
Yes.
you know, and that's the family connection. That's what I really want the Daisy vibe to be. This is what I'm having for dinner tonight. That to
Right.
me is something that people who know me as a chef, as a
Right.
cookbook author, want to know. What is Daisy having? How? And then they'll say, give us the recipe.
And then the
I
recipe
can
comes
do that.
along and you can
I
attach
can do
that, or
Absolutely.
you can send it out to people in real time.
Absolutely.
So you might be sitting here where you're skimming your soup. And why are you skimming the soup? I know, but why are you skimming the soup?
Well, you know, when you simmer food like this, the proteins break down, and all that foam and gunk comes up to the top. You notice too that I lowered the heat, because
Okay.
once that foam starts coming up, if you leave it on high heat, it's going to disperse in the soup and muddy the flavor of the soup.
Right.
So this gives you a nice bright, all those beautiful fresh aromatics that I put in. I want those colors to pop.
I'd like to put you in the place of, if you could be anywhere in the world, in any time, where would that be? And what would you be eating or drinking when you were there?
Oh my Lord. Could you imagine the expression on the faces of the Spaniards when they first tasted a mango on the shores of Puerto Rico? We used to go spend summers in Puerto Rico with my maternal grandmother, and my grandmother could make money grow. I mean, the woman had, talk about green thumbs. And on her property, in her house, she had a banana tree. She had a mango tree that gave mangoes the size like this. Like you would eat a mango, you would have mango in your eyebrows. That you
Right.
She grew her own avocados. She had grapefruit. My grandmother could cure cancer out of her garden
Right,
because
because of
all of her
grapefruit and
herbs, everything, her own gandules, her own achote seeds, everything she grew out of her garden. Hola, I'm Daisy Martinez, chef, author, and host of PBS's Daisy Cooks and Food Network's Viva Daisy, and this is My Path Builder.
My Path Builder